It's that time. Welcome to Roadmap, how to take 3 listings a week until you're ready for more. Each week, we interview a great agent who is consistently taking 2, 3, 4 listings each week. And we have an exciting dozen guests today. This is the highlight show, our second highlight show. We encourage you to take notes, apply as much of the knowledge as quickly as you can, and then use the copycat principle. If you're watching on Vulcan7 or on the Lead Gen Facebook group, you'll have an opportunity to ask questions during the broadcast. So we have a large audience there. They have 50,000 members now. Wow. So we have a large audience there as well again today.
Competition's getting steeper out there.
I know. Let me first introduce my co-host here. Again, to do the highlight show, we brought back Sarah Close.
Thanks for having me back. This is a lot of fun.
Good.
I love doing this.
I know. Sarah owns several market centers in the Cincinnati area.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati.
It's right a lot of ways to pronounce it.
Covering northern Kentucky, a little bit of Indiana,
yep.
Dayton, Ohio, and then you've got all those business centers. So you got a lot of locations around town. How many agents? How many agents roughly?
Collectively, we're about 530.
530.
Yeah.
That's late in the day.
Yeah.
And
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And then she runs a team like a lot of the ones we're interviewing. Did what? 146 sales
136 units.
136 units last year. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So it's a good year. Needs to be better this year.
Yeah,
so, which is why we're here.
Yeah, and you follow a schedule similar to some of the ones that.
Very similar. Yeah, I've learned most of what I've learned from you and from the people you've interviewed. So this is a treat for me.
She's been doing it a while. She's got to figure it out before I ever met her.
Oh yeah.
So good. So let's jump in and.
Perfect. Who's first?
Who's first? Who's on first? What's on second? Mike Darda is first.
Fantastic.
From Cape Coral.
Oh, yeah. Terrific.
It's a pretty basic morning routine. Start at 7:30 with role play. We're on the phones by 8, and we prospect, I'd say straight through to about 10 o'clock for a quick mindset break, 15-minute team meeting, back on the phones till noon. And that is like clockwork every morning.
Great, and you say we because you were a one-man show for the longest time, but is that your son that's involved?
Yeah, I prospect side by side with my son Andrew, and we call the same people back to back and just keep tabs of who's talking to who and double our chances of setting appointments that way. Nice.
And what's a typical month? How many listings do you take in a typical month? Yeah, averaged out over the last year. What's a typical?
Individually, I take about 15 to 20 a month myself.
Yourself, okay.
And as a team, we're probably 25 to 30, I'd say, on a typical month.
Yes, I know. You know what I get from this is, he's been doing it a while, and
he's been doing it a while, and he's been doing the same thing for a long time. It's that consistently is huge. It's a huge piece.
Yeah. We had one of the agents in your company go down and shadow him.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah,
I did that a few months ago, and came back and said you wouldn't believe it. Yeah,
it's just, but he follows the schedule.
Focus, yeah. So when you watch some of these people that have been doing it for 2 decades, out of the gate they get to where they're taking 2 listings a week.
Right.
And then they get to 3, then they start building a database, and so it keeps building and building and building.
Yeah, it kind of expands geometrically. Yeah. I think it's interesting that he and his son are calling the same parties back to back. It makes total sense. Hearing him say it sounds so simple. It's like, oh, that's a great idea. Why am I not doing that?
Yeah, I know. In a lot of teams, if you've got somebody else calling with you, don't think you each have to call different people. Call the same one.
Yeah, it's makes total sense.
It works. It works.
I like that.
You're going to get a different response.
Yeah, we'll be doing that.
Good. We're going to go a little closer to home.
Terrific. Who's next?
And you're going to have to watch out. He said he wasn't, but he might creep his way on down to Cincinnati.
All right. Well,
he's up in northern Ohio, covering several cities up there.
Okay.
Michael Kane.
Terrific.
7 years ago, I had a call with Mike Ferry, and I asked him how I could double my business. So I was doing 30 to 40 miles outside of my where my office was, and now we go pretty much 65 to 75 miles in any direction. Obviously not north because that's great.
Right.
But, so every major city in Greater Cleveland we cover. And Akron and Canton markets.
So we're going to have some fun. We're going to do, he's going to do a role play, Michael is.
Oh, fantastic.
Good.
Great.
Hello.
Hi, Carly.
Yes.
Hey, Carly, this is Michael Kane with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. I'm calling about the home for sale over on Smith Street, and I'm sure you figured out that your house came up as an expired listing, and I was calling to see when you plan on interviewing the right agent for the job of selling your home.
You know what? You're like the 9th person that has called. I'm just not interested. Like, I really need you guys to stop calling me.
I completely understand. Can you believe I work with these people? It's crazy. How do you think I feel every day? You sold this home, Carly. Where were you planning to move to next?
Planning to move to New York.
Okay, New York. That's exciting.
Yeah.
Now, how soon do you have to be there?
I mean, as soon as possible, to be honest with you. We thought this home would have sold. My house is gorgeous. I just don't understand why it wouldn't sell. Like, I customized everything. It's beautiful.
You know, I pulled up
like hot pink walls. It's gorgeous.
I saw that, and that's one of the things I'd like to talk to you about. I pulled it up on my computer. It looks like a fantastic home.
Yeah.
Carly, what do you think stopped the home from selling?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you.
So you're not sure?
No, I don't know. Like, this is not my area of expertise. So
sure, and I think that's something that we need to find out, right? Mm-hmm. Now, how did you happen to pick the last agent you listed?
It was a friend of a friend. It, like, got referred.
Okay. All right, so it's a friend.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, and what did that agent do like best?
Obviously nothing.
Nothing.
No.
Ouch. Now,
I know.
What do you feel they should have done?
Sold my house.
Sold the house, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So let me ask you this. What would you expect from the next agent that you choose?
To sell my house.
Sell the house, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, it's not that hard. Your guys' job is not even hard. I don't even get it.
Well, I have to tell you, you might say it's not that hard, but the house didn't sell. So I have to ask you, have you already chosen an agent to work with?
No.
You haven't? You're kidding. I'd like to apply for the job of selling your home. Are you familiar with the techniques that we use to sell houses, Carly?
No. What are they?
That's a fantastic question. What would be the best time where I could come out, look at the property, and show you how we can sell your property? Would Monday or Tuesday at 4 work for you?
I just don't understand what you would do differently than my last agent would do.
No, that's a great question. We have a whole tool belt of things that we do differently. And that's
like what?
Well, I'd like to talk to you about that when I come out and meet with you. I first want to evaluate the property and determine what methods we can use this time around to get it sold and market it differently. What would be the best time? After 4, Monday or Tuesday?
How about like at 9 o'clock at night?
Okay, I have a time in my schedule for 9 o'clock Monday night.
I'm not painting the pink walls either.
And that's okay. That's something we'll discuss when I meet with you.
Okay.
So I'll look forward to seeing you Monday at 9 p.m. And before I come out, do you have any questions for me?
No, I mean, you seem like a nice guy. I'm willing to meet with you, but I'm not making any promises.
Okay, fair enough. After that, I've got the appointment. I go into my pre-call script.
And she threw the curve that usually nails a lot of agents. We do things very differently. Like what? And then they do their presentation over the phone. They never get the appointment.
Right.
It happens a lot.
Yeah. What's interesting is that script never changes and those objections never change.
No,
They're timeless.
I know. And so it gets down to not the words, but all the skills in the delivery of those
Absolutely.
words.
And having that script internalized, he's able to actually listen to what she's saying.
Yeah.
And respond instead of thinking about his next comment.
Yes.
That's going to throw his script off. So he's very
For those
effective.
of you that don't believe in scripts,
You're using one anyway.
Good deal. Well, we're going to travel from Northern Ohio to Northern California in Redding, California. Josh Barker, you interviewed him.
I did interview him.
I know.
That was a lot of fun.
It was exciting.
That was a great day for me.
Yes.
Thanks for including me in that.
Good deal. So.
This will be fun to watch again.
I know.
Sure. Well, our company's broken down into two main segments. One is our sales team themselves, which last year in 2017 comprised of a total of 8 salespeople, me being one of those. And then the other part of the company is the administrative staff. So we do our very best to keep the salespeople, including myself, in the roles of buying and selling or representing buyers and sellers. And then we keep our administrative staff focused on the the administrative activities that are related to that.
So quick math on the productivity per person is really high. 8 sales,
Well, it is,
595 units.
Yeah, if I broke it down, I wrote it down. So if I'm staring down, this is why. But as a company, we listed 450 listings last year.
Wow.
Of that, 325 I listed personally.
Wow.
We closed 325 of those listings, of which I personally handled 250 of them. And we closed 270 buyer transactions, of which I did 0.
Nice.
So I don't represent any buyers in the market. We'll have our agents take care of that. So the company grossed about 3.85 million.
Wow.
And
wow.
so it did pretty well. And of course, there's cost for sales and everything else associated with that. So, and on our model, the imperfect part of the model that we have is that I still represent a very large portion of the transactions for the company.
Mm-hmm.
Long term, we want to scale this company to 1,000 transactions, which obviously means that I'm going to need more people doing more transactions to get there. It's not going to be me going out and listing 375 homes and selling 300. I don't necessarily want to do that. I don't think it would be in the best interest of our clients or our team if I did.
A lot of amazing things going on there.
It's unreal.
Yeah, it's when you look at a lot of teams, there's this idea that, I don't have to go prospect and I don't have to go on listing appointments anymore.
Right.
And yet, if you do,
right,
you make a lot more money. I mean, he went on 325 appointments last year.
And he sold 250 of them.
Yeah. So it's a
the
great
profitability
use
of that model,
time. Yeah.
And then the leadership that he's demonstrating, that's going to be something that's going to become duplicatable without him having to do anything extra to train anyone. He's just saying, this is how I do it, you do it the way I do it, and everyone stays in their lane.
Yeah.
It's genius.
Yes, and the piece you don't see behind the scenes is a lot of the business he gets is because the customer service that they have is so exemplary.
Right.
That people recommend them all over, over and over and over, and that's a piece that a lot of large teams are taking a hard look at right now.
Exactly. It's a big quality piece. It's the come list me's, if you will. That's higher quality business. The trust factor is already there. Right. There's just an ease to that whole transaction that you can't achieve in another situation where the business doesn't come to you through the referral system.
Yeah, if people had a mediocre experience, they're not going to send you their friends.
Exactly. Makes sense.
Good deal.
Yeah, they've got it nailed.
Well, I think we should go back to the East Coast. Let's go back to Ocean City, New Jersey.
All right.
Jeff Quinton.
So we're prospecting based. So our basic schedule for accountability, one is everyone's required to be on a huddle call at 8:15 in the morning. We're going to talk about 3 things on the huddle call. And everyone dials in remote locations. Some people are already in the office, some aren't. So 3 things are going to happen. One, we're going to state what our goal is for the month. Where are we in relation to that goal as far as actual? And then what is our commitments for the day? So we're going to state out loud to the team and do all the way around, around the horn, everybody. And they're going to, the agents are going to say, well, my goal today is 30 contacts for the day, set 2 appointments. I'm working on 2 deals. I got to get wrapped up and I get 3 reductions. So they're going to state that out, for example, on 8:15 huddle call. Then at 8:30, part of our standards and requirements is I want everyone always to have minimum 5 role play partners at any time. So everyone must be role playing 30 minutes a day for 5 days. And that's kind of standard across the board.
There you go. So they've got an amazing structure.
Yeah.
Amazing structure. And they're running it like you would run a football team.
Right.
And then practice. Mm-hmm. Let's look at the practice piece.
Oh, yeah.
So a couple other things. If you're not on the call by 8:18 in the morning in the huddle, they have to, if you're late to the call and it's tracked, we see who logs in, they have to buy lunch for the whole entire team.
I love that.
You're right, all right? By the end of the day, if you don't report your numbers, and we have a link that goes directly into CTE, Committed to Excellence is the program we use. They have a link that to fill in the number of, or not so much dials, but number of contacts, nurtures, appointment set, like all that has to be put in there. I get a report every morning, and I sent the entire team so we can see who did what. And if they don't report their numbers, then the agent doesn't have admin access for the following day. So they don't have any. If they have a contract done, they're doing it themselves. So a lot of accountability around that. And then each week we're meeting with them in our 4-1-1s, discussing their 1 week goals, 1 month and 1 year goals and keeping them on track in that sense. So
Well, it sounds like an exciting culture, if you will, and an environment, and you've got accountability and you're tracking numbers. It kind of reminds me of like a football team. You've got all this practice, measuring. Everybody's pulling their own weight. Everybody knows what everybody else is doing. You know and you're winning a lot of games.
Yeah, no, it is similar to that. In fact, I was telling the guys yesterday in our sales meeting, I said, we're always talking about practice, right? And one of our agents she's a newer agent, and so she has an appointment tomorrow. Thursday, to go on a listing appointment, and she's kind of nervous, right? She wants maybe someone to go with her and all. And I said, well, here's the deal. You got to practice your appointment right now every single day for a few hours. Like, get in front of someone, have it staged, have it mocked, husband and wife, just like we used to do. We used to do these listing presentations. Like, you need to study like that. And I said, here's the deal. I said, everyone's been watching football lately, right? And they said, yeah. I said, good. Who here knows Tom Brady? And they said, well, I know who he is. Okay, good. So I asked them, I said, do you have any idea how long Tom Brady holds the football during an average time of a game? So the game typically is an hour long, 4 15-minute quarters, but the game, it's 3 hours long by the time you do your stops and all. So I said, what's the average time Tom Brady or any NFL quarterback holds the ball? And everyone around the room said, I don't know, 20 minutes, 30 seconds, whatever. I said, well, here's the deal. The average time is 11 seconds. His presentation, his listing presentation is 11 seconds. I said, but Tom Brady, how many hours do you think he practices for that 11 seconds on a Sunday? Well, I don't know. Well, here's the deal. They practice from 6 in the morning to 5 at night, 6 days a week. They practice over, I don't know how that is, but let's call it 70 hours for an 11-minute listing presentation. So the same thing. You guys got to practice. And by the way, he makes $25 million. He makes a little bit more money than us. Look what he's doing and look at his activities.
I know how much money you make. I know how much money you make, Jeff. He isn't making that much more than you. A lot of fun. So they've really got it down to a science.
It's really neat. What I like about that is that he has an immediate response or consequence if things don't get done. So in his organization, there's no opportunity for a behavior to go on for an indeterminate amount of time without the result of that showing up.
Can't hide out on his team.
Yeah, I'm like, man.
There's no hiding.
That's all good.
There's no hiding.
That's great.
He's been doing a great job up there. Wonderful. So, a resort market in Utah, St. George, our good friend John Ames.
Great.
We are a phone-centric team. So I'm going to show you, I have my own call center.
Wow.
And as I pan around, you'll see my team right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 people in here prospecting right now.
Nice.
And this is what we do. We're either at an appointment or here in the call center. And then as well, let me summarize what our philosophy is. Can you see that?
Yes. Welcome to the
What's
Mint.
What's it say, Ren?
Welcome to the Mint. Where you make your dreams come true.
Absolutely. And then what does this one say, Ren?
The more you make, it disappeared. The more you make something.
The more you make.
The more you make.
The more you make, the more you make.
Love it. Yep. And then you guys will like this one. This is a mirror we're looking at. What does that say?
It's a nice picture, though, isn't it?
Yeah. It says, meet the person who decides how much you make today.
I love it.
Love that.
And then the last one says, since the beginning of sales, the best learned if they wanted this, and it points to the gold bars, they need to spend more time with this.
That's the first phone John ever used.
That's it.
So you really base your entire business on calling, it seems.
Oh, absolutely. It is the only thing that we know where you can run your real estate business and have a predictable, repeatable income every single month.
Love it.
They've got culture there.
It's a great environment.
They work their butts off, but they have fun. Mm-hmm. And the two go hand in hand. You will work harder if you're having fun along the way.
And everything in that visual, view was all about productivity, mindset. Yes. It's up to you.
Yes.
You can't, nowhere to hide in there either.
Yeah. No, not at all. Yeah. I was talking to an agent a few months ago. She was from the same town as John. Mm-hmm. And she said, I don't know why John seems to need every last listing in St. George.
That's funny.
But he does.
Good for him.
All right, let's go up to Wisconsin. That'd
Okay.
be fun. Kenosha, Rishardi.
So typically I get to the office at 7:30. I typically work just Monday through Thursday. So I get to the office for a 7:30 role play. I role play from 7:30 till 8. And then I'm usually on the phones by about 8:15. And one of the things I really try hard to do is shut off my email and shut off my cell phone. As a matter of fact, my assistant takes my cell phone, so I'm not interrupted. And then I prospect until 11:30. Two ends. I have no buyer agent, so I do 150 deals basically myself. I meet with the admins at 11:30, and then usually 12 to 12:30 I do admin things, maybe look at some CMAs and what have you, and then I go out on appointments from like 1 until I try to be home in the house by 6 o'clock Monday through Thursday. And then on the weekends, I periodically have to do a counter offer or present an offer or something like that, but I try hard to avoid actually meeting with people on the weekends and Fridays.
So it's kind of a weekday business.
Pretty much, yeah. Monday through Thursday is what is the plan, to try to do 150 deals.
In 4 days.
Amazing.
Right, in 4 days, yeah.
And then
that's
you'll
what I've
do
been
it
doing
3
for the
days after that, probably, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Once I can get that, mastered, then I'll move it down to 3 days. That'd be perfect.
She's got it down tight. 150 sales, one woman show, pretty much, just at 4 days a week, home in the evenings. But she, it's important. She's got 3 boys and her husband Joe, and they like to have a good life. And it can be a weekday business, folks. It can be a weekday business, and it doesn't have to be complicated. You don't have to have 82 Indians on the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And she keeps most of that money.
Tight ship.
Yeah,
That's a tight ship.
very tight ship. Very, very tight ship. So let's go over to Philadelphia.
Okay.
Zach Baer.
The gym starts at 6. It's a 1 hour. I CrossFit, so it's a 1 hour schedule. From 7, I go right home, shower, change, and get to the office.
CrossFit. All right. There we go.
Yeah.
That's the hot thing.
So do you think having a really regular schedule, including your workouts in the morning, really helps you stay on track and keeps you on the phones and keeps you motivated?
Yeah, I think having a structured morning has helped me significantly because I don't have to think about what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I may not be the brightest bulb out there, right? So for me, the less I have to think and the simpler I make this thing, the easier it is for me to produce.
So the routine pulls you.
Yeah, it's just, this is what
Just
I
like
do.
routines do, they pull you.
Right. You think about, you get into the car and you drive to your parents' house or your kid's house.
Yeah.
You don't, a lot of times you get there and you're like, well, how did I get here?
Yeah.
You're using
The
almost
unconscious mind. Well, if you do it long enough, it pulls you.
Yeah,
So
it's
good.
the same thing. It's absolutely. I love the morning schedule. Now the afternoon is something I'm striving to have as quality as the morning.
I think you nailed it. You said the routine pulls you. And that's the key to the whole thing. If you have so much of your day that you don't have to put any brain power against to come up with, and you just execute, the efficiency.
That's it. And every last person that we've interviewed so far, the routine that drives that, their morning routine. Monday looks exactly like Tuesday.
Right.
Like Wednesday, like Thursday, and a Friday. Now the afternoons can vary. If you've got 8 new pendings, 8 new closings, 8 new listings, it can be a little different.
Sure.
But in the morning, it can be for 220 days out of 365 because you're off the other 145 days.
Right.
If you're doing this right, folks.
Yeah.
Except for Calla, she works. But
that's the theme.
That's
the
the
morning,
thing.
nail
Yes.
the morning, nail the day.
Yeah, exactly. So routine. But unconscious.
Right.
Yeah. You know exactly where you're going to go without thinking about it. So
That's
perfect.
beautiful.
It's a wonderful thing. Good. Let's look at some mindset things.
Okay.
This Brian Casella and Loida Velasquez, they have a team. They door knock like crazy.
Oh,
They're always
fantastic.
door knocking and making calls. Their mindset is so strong. Let's look.
Terrific.
Okay, for everybody watching, I challenge you, right? This is what I said on the video. I said, I challenge you to go look in the mirror and then share. You don't have to share it right here, but think to yourself, what do you think immediately when you look into the mirror? Is it you're pointing out your flaws, or can you actually look at what's in front of you in the mirror, smile, and appreciate what's in front of you, right? Something so simple, yet that permeates into every other area of your life. If you look at yourself in the mirror You cannot smile or look at yourself confidently and proudly and say, man, I'm proud of you. Oh, you're a go-getter. You're doing this, you're doing that. And you don't appreciate yourself. How can you expect somebody else to appreciate you if you don't appreciate yourself? It starts and it ends with you, with self, all the time. That is why I can pick up a camera and record myself like this without a problem and put it out to the world, because I appreciate the person in front of the mirror and behind the camera. I know who that individual is. I know what he's doing every single day. He's earning his keep. He's working hard. He represents change, a force, power, great communication, inspiration, whatever you want to call it. And I embody that, right? Now, the other person who's having a little bit of trouble with the camera, I recommend that they do that exercise. I guarantee you, you're going to be pointing out your flaws. Oh man, one of my eyebrows is a little bit longer than the other. Oh, I don't like this tooth. Oh man, I'm gaining weight. You have to accept where you are, first and foremost. Change can be had, right? We always hear about people going to Alcoholics Anonymous. What's the first exercise? You accept the fact that you're an alcoholic. Then from there, the change can begin. And I think a lot of people want to avoid the mindset stuff when I truly believe it's the foundation for you to really have success. And it requires people to confront their insecurities, which is probably one of the biggest fears and struggles for a lot of people. And I think that's where we have to focus in on. That's what I did with my new guy. And within 3-4 weeks, he's already a completely different person. It's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah, he was talking about, when you're reading a script, one person can read a script, lack of confidence. The other person can do it fully confident.
Right.
And the results are so different.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That ownership comes through when someone has that confidence. And he's so in alignment.
Yeah.
He'd be hard to rattle.
Exactly. And I see this. We see it with agents 2, 3, 4, 5 years in the business. Still, they don't have the confidence they need. So how do they get there?
I think it's what he's talking about, which is spending that time really getting clear about who you are and being comfortable with that and owning it, and then being able to move forward from there.
And then internalize a few scripts along the way, too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that brings a lot of confidence.
It does.
If you don't have to think about what to say.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Perfect. Good. So,
who's next?
From Keller Williams in Little Rock.
All right.
And there's been a lot of conversations with Keller Williams lately about database and customer service and getting and creating that demand. And Carrie Ellison's a good example of that.
Great.
Let's watch what she has to say.
Terrific.
Right now we do a photos with Santa. So the first weekend in December, we have a Santa Claus here at the office, and we always tie it to a food bank donation or the Humane Society for the animals.
So great.
Yeah, we hire a professional photographer and bring in Santa Claus. And then, of course, we do prizes.
So the 3 events, and then you're calling them all the time. And do they get anything in the mail? Do they get anything in email, videos, any other way you touch them?
I'll tell you, the best thing we did last year is we did a survey, because you can't, I'm sure there's a lot of license laws out there in the state of Arkansas. We actually called because we moved databases, and we called and did a survey, and we asked them 5 questions. And the last question was, who do you know that needs to buy or sell real estate in the next 6 months that we can call today? And we've got 1,300 people, give or take, in our database. And we reached about 250, on a phone call. And out of that, we picked up 96 referrals.
Wow, that's amazing.
So we also gave away a $2,500 travel voucher where somebody could go wherever they want on a cruise, airline tickets, any of the above.
Love that. That's a great incentive.
I've got a question. So the survey was by phone and calling them, correct?
Correct.
And if I hear you correctly, 40%, 250 people you talked to gave you 96 referrals.
Yes.
40%. So my question is, what about the other 1,050, 1,050? How are you going to reach them to get, what would that be? Another 400?
I know.
Another 420 referrals. They've got 420 referrals. You just got to reach them. How are you going to do it?
Well,
do it by mail?
Nope. They've got to talk to us face to face. We're going to offer it again. We're going to do it again. It was such a great success. For $2,500, it's a no-brainer. So we're going to do it at our client party, and then we're going to follow it up again in the fall. And
that is huge.
it was huge.
Oh,
yeah.
and it speaks volumes. Normally people don't offer up something unless they think your service is exemplary.
Yeah. So it was for us, it was a huge eye-opening experience on people that, and the funny thing was some of these people were people we had talked to the week before, or friends of ours we had ran into 2 weeks before, never said a word. Yet when you ask those magic words, who do you know that needs to buy or sell that I can call? And it's amazing what response you get from that.
Gotta ask.
I know. And the unsaid piece is their customer service is so high that people are willing to do that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's obviously a safe place to send someone you care about.
Yeah.
To have a good transaction.
You got to do that.
That's brilliant.
So,
wow.
Yeah, she's got that thing figured out.
I should say
Little
so.
Rock.
90 referrals. That's impressive.
Good deal.
Wow.
So,
where are we going now?
We are going to go back. We're kind of going west, east, west, east. We're going to go back to the coast, East Coast. Myrtle Beach.
All right.
Mr. Greg Sisson.
Greg, they're brand new agent. How do I become a great listing agent? How do I take more listings? I said, you've got to go to undergrad. You got to go to undergrad. Here's what I meant by that. My first 3 years in real estate, I had the good fortune of working with Greg Harrelson for many years. And, we prospected side by side for many years. And for 3 straight years, I made 60 contacts minimum per day. Which doesn't sound like it's not a ton, but that was without a dialer. We double dialed, had 2 phones, double headset. And 90% of that was cold call. Maybe 40 to 50 were cold calls, and the rest were for sale by owners. Now, here's what I'm telling you this. When you have 60 conversations, real estate conversations every single day, calling neighbors, you're in the mode of talking, of having the real estate conversation. You do that for 3 years, you've got an undergrad. You've heard it all. You've heard all the same responses. It's natural for you to go and your scripts. Until you become that comfortable where wake me up at 2 a.m, I can make a cold call or an expired. It has to be that ingrained and internalized. So that's important for people, the new agents, to make a lot of contacts. I mean, I don't think you can underestimate just being in the game and making a ton of contacts to get an education in the real estate conversation.
Contacts. That's
Time on
it.
task.
I know, and a lot of people that are struggling are not going to go there. They need to. They need 60 contacts.
Well, what he's doing with that is it's just becoming such an ingrained part of who he is that it's going to be as much of him as brushing his teeth.
Well,
it's like an easy thing.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's like Pythagoras said. Remember that realtor back in Greece? Yeah,
Way back in the day?
Yeah, in Greece. Yeah, long time ago.
When we got like
he said, take the road that's best, no matter how rough, and soon it becomes easy and agreeable. I mean, even to this day, Calla Riccardi makes 57 contacts a day.
Wow.
57 a day. She's working 4 days a week. It's not a bad life.
No, it's
and
not a
home
bad
by
life.
6 p.m. You just get used to it.
Yeah.
So get used to it, everybody.
Well, you're working anyway.
Greg's goal this year as coach is he has to take 1 a day. In March, he was supposed to take 31 listings.
Oh, wow.
And I don't know how that turned out. But
We'll
he was
tracking. I have little doubt. 60 a day? I bet you'll be on track.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
That's it. Let's go down south.
Okay.
We haven't been down there yet, have we? No. Let's go down. Well, we have. Let's go down south.
Okay.
Shreveport. Stephen Futch.
Give me a call.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, this is Steve with Keller Williams. Calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
It is. Do you have a buyer for me?
Actually, I work with a number of buyers at all times, and I'm really excited about getting your home sold. So let me ask you, when I sell your home, where are you moving to next?
We're okay staying here, but we would like to move to New York.
New York, that's exciting. And how soon would you like to be there?
Sorry, can you say that again?
I said, that's exciting. How soon would you like to be there?
We're not in a rush. I just want to get the right price for my home. So again, if you have a buyer, feel free to bring them. But, I really have to get going now.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I intend to do, is bring you a continuous stream of qualified buyers seeking to buy in the immediate future. That's what you want, right?
Yeah. At the price that I want. Yeah.
Fantastic. I'd like to come by and preview your home this afternoon, 3 to 5 minutes, so you can show me the features and benefits. I'm available at 3 or again at 5, which is better for you.
Are you going to be bringing one of your buyers?
No, I can't sell it. I can't show anything to a buyer until I know what I'm showing.
Oh.
Have you ever bought a pair of shoes without trying them on?
No, especially the shoes I wear. They're big girl shoes.
Yeah, and I don't get married without going on at least one date, and I've never sold a home unless I've actually seen it.
Ah, okay.
Would it be okay if I'm able to articulate the features and benefits of your home to a number of buyers?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Fantastic. Which is better for you, 3 or 5?
5 would work.
5, great. Now, before I come out, there are a number of questions I need to ask you, and I go right into my pre-qualifying script.
Okay, great. I think that was great. I like that you just kept moving it along, like you wouldn't stop.
Yeah, I don't want to let it bog down at all.
Uh-huh. And what are some really big red flags when you pre-qualify? Like, what are some really big things you're looking for that would stop you from going on the appointment?
Pricing, primarily pricing. I can get any home sold if it's competitively priced.
Right.
What they need to understand, and what I hopefully will cause them to understand, is that no buyer is going to pay more than market value for anything, and that goes for homes also. So I want you for one moment to step out of your shoes and step into the shoes of the buyer. Would you pay what you want to price this home at if you were buying a home today, or would you pay less for one down the street that's very similar?
I would pay less for one down the street.
And so would all the other buyers. So do you see that we have a choice here? We can price competitively and get showings and offers, or we can price above the market, get very few showings, no offers. And you know what we'll be doing when we do that?
What?
We'll just be helping everyone else get their home shown and get them sold. Now, do you want to get yours sold, or you want to help everyone else get theirs sold?
I want to sell mine.
Fantastic. Sign the contract.
Sign the contract.
Good deal.
Good. I like it.
So I think what most people get wound around the axle with for sale by owners is handling objections. They have a deep fear of getting objections that they can't handle. They don't have the confidence because they haven't been practicing objection handlers, and they get bogged down and get taken off script.
Yeah.
And once you're off script, then the FSBO's in charge.
Yes, I agree. Because you start flustering and you don't know what you're saying. And yeah, I agree. So I feel like the biggest objection with FSBOs is, I'm not paying a commission. I am not paying a commission. I'm not paying a commission.
Yeah, well, I can appreciate that you don't want to pay a commission. If you could get more money at closing by hiring a professional and paying the commission than you'll get by selling it yourself without a commission, would you want that additional money at closing?
Yes.
I think you deserve that money, and that's why you and I need to meet immediately. You see, I specialize in getting homes shown and getting them sold for the most a buyer's willing to pay. And moreover, I'm going to protect your equity through the negotiations and maximize your net proceeds at closing. Now, if I can't bring you an offer that nets you more after the commission than you'll get on your own, I'm not going to expect you to accept it. Therefore, you're in a win-win, no-lose situation. I'm going to spend my time, my money, commit the resources of my entire company to find you the highest and best offer in this market. Isn't that what you really want?
Definitely.
You still want to be in New York as soon as possible, right?
Honestly, I do, yes.
That's exactly why people like you hire me. I'll see you at 3 o'clock.
Sounds good.
Lots of embedded commands in there.
Yeah, there were. Yeah. It's strong. And I put that whole thing on there so people could watch it 42 times.
Yeah.
Because if you watch it 42 times, you're going to... He was on stage 5 years ago with Gary Keller, who Gary Keller said, nobody has listed more for sale owners than Stephen Fudge. That was 5 years ago. And then it was right about the same time he was on stage with Mike Ferry, who was acknowledging his strength as a listing agent. So he's been around the block and highly recognized with FSBO. So.
Well, he's got complete mastery of that whole script, and every piece of it has an NLP component to it that's designed to get the response he's looking for to get the appointment nailed.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I know. It's airtight. Our last guest from Phoenix, Arizona.
Back to the desert.
Yes.
Okay.
And Scottsdale and associated towns.
Yeah, and I mean, there's probably a lot of agents that are more skilled than I am, that are looking, but my biggest strength is the consistency. I do it every day.
Okay, so Monday through Friday, you're calling until about noon every day.
Yeah, because the crazy thing is you could go 2 or 3 days and make all these contacts and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come in that 4th day and the first 5 people you talk to, you set 2 appointments.
Okay, so it's day 3. It's day 3. You've gone 3 days and it's just like bust.
Yeah.
What are you telling yourself in your mind? Because there are a lot of people who are like, I wouldn't have even made it to the 3rd day. How do you make it to the 3rd day? Why do you do that? How do you?
Well, I just think the biggest thing I'm doing too is I'm talking to people and going through my leads. So if I'm trying to take 10 listings a month, I'm not worried about number 10 at the beginning of the month when I have 2. Let's say I've taken 2 and it's the beginning of the month. All I'm looking for, what's number 3? Where's number 3?
Okay, good.
There's so much in this business you can focus on, but really if you just focus on what you got to do that day here and the now, where's that next listing going to happen?
Mm-hmm. What's your agenda when you do get through and it's a good lead? It's not only a contact, but turns into a good lead. What's your follow-up process for that?
Well, I know one thing Mike teaches, that the higher producing agents, kind of how they even define a lead. And a lot of people say, well, this is someone that's going to sell in 6 months. Well, that's not really a lead. For a top producing agent, it's going to be someone who's going to sign a contract within the next 7 to 10 days. Mm-hmm. So if they're motivated, I'm going to call them daily, maybe even twice a day.
Okay. And you're just going to stay on them until you can get into their house and get that listing appointment.
Right. I know Mike teaches that. How often do we lose a lead from calling them too much?
Never.
Never. It's usually the opposite, right?
Yeah.
No, because that's why you're demonstrating what they're trying to hire anyway. Mm-hmm. That's what that the more persistent you are, the more passionate you are, the more they're like, that's who we want. That's exactly what we're selling. Yep. Which is
sometimes I'll tell the seller, I'm going to be the same way with buyers.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Yeah, that's interesting. Your interactions, you've already started the interview process before you've even met with them.
Pretty effective.
I know, and that's the fun part. We're demonstrating what we're supposed to be doing by closing them hard. They're like, yeah, well, that's what I want. If we're a lay down,
Right. That's absolutely. All of these individuals have the message of consistency in their programs.
They do.
All of them.
They do, and practice.
Yeah. Yeah.
And focus and shrugging off 3 days of.
Right.
Looking for that 4th day.
Yeah.
So
pretty exciting.
Yeah, this would be one to watch over and over and over and over again. So,
absolutely.
I got to sell some stuff
see
there.
What you got.
Yes, if you're watching on Vulcan7 and you want to get involved with the Lead Gen Facebook group, you can find them at facebook.com/groups/got objections. And I want to thank Aaron Wittenstein who runs that. He runs expiredmasteryelite.com. And finally, if you're watching on Facebook and you're not yet involved with Vulcan7, make sure to sign up at vulcan7.com/leadgen for a special deal. And the most important thing, and this is a secret that wasn't shared, these 12 guests, what they do, they work hard all morning looking for business, and they take a little break and they go and they get some delicious Graeter's mint chocolate chip. Get their mint chocolate chip. It's very good. Sold all over North America. Go to Graeters.com and find out where you can go right now and get a little pint and enjoy it right now. It will change your life.
It will change.
It will change your life. So we'll see you next time. Next week will be another guest, and we'll have another highlight show in a few months. Would you come back and do that?
I would love to.
In a few months? Good. About 3 months from now. Good.
All right, we'll be back.
We'll do it again. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for having me.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.